It feels like that's not just a security net anymore to hold you with the safety to try and close out the map because of these massive comebacks that we've seen not just today, but yesterday in the beginning where there wasn't as much pressure because you can get that lower bracket run happening. So I think, you know, it's going to be important to first see who gets the knife and which side is starting off on.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into it. Finally underway. Vertigo. It's gone. Inferno, forget about it. Now is the time. It is nigh for the Blue Boy map in Nuke. Let's move, let's boogie, and find out who will be joining Greyhound at IEM Sydney.
Absolutely. VERTEX starting off the T side, LFO on the CT, so that would assume that LFO chose CT and won the knife round, but immediately VERTEX is taking it to them at ramp.
Straight on in, and they actually choose to fall away back, and now as the door will open up for them, Volta takes a lot of damage. Savage does start to line them up, but Addict at least getting that trade out. That should be site secured, still waiting patiently. How quickly off the back do they want to try and move for this? They'll be smoked off outside the annex.
No kit either, and no smokes to get back in for this retake. Just a single flash on Liki poses a bit of a problem.
Absolutely. Having a look in now, turning away from the flash at the appropriate time. There is no kit in the hands that I can see so far. Hazard still focusing up high with those Julies. Brace picking up another. Malta will drop Apoc Dud. Liki does get one back, but now all left on to Sterling. And there's just too many angles to clear, too many positions to take control of. Brace has put him on a ring around the rosy. And it looks like Sterling will be getting out of there, trying to find some exits as VERTEX finally break this curse. And they will get a pistol.
Oh, will Sterling survive though? 9 HP. He's toesies the jump.
Oh!
The timing. Okay, so he can keep the Kevlar to the next round. But Mitch, I wanna say something here.
Tell me.
VERTEX and a pistol round?
They've done it. First of 5. That they do manage to get it done.
That they do. And they're going to force up as well. CT side, you generally see that when it comes to our region. So we'll see what sort of damage is going to be able to be delivered. Sterling on the scout. You got an MP9 there for Savage. A couple of 5.7s and a Deagle on Apoc Dud. But most importantly for VERTEX, this is the time to kind of really just destroy LFO on this map. I feel if you want to get good confidence going into IEM Sydney, you want the grand final to either be, you know, very clean 2-0 for the team, or if it does get to the third, that final map to just be destruction. If it goes really close, might struggle a little bit against these tier 1 teams. Different mindset though against them compared to here.
Damage dealt. Apoc Dud does manage to find one, but it's quickly traded out by Addict. Does find the frag back, so no real reward yet found. Site secured. That's at least step 1 into this round to try and secure out the counter eco. Addict, oh geez, how's he alive? Does push forward, low HP, but at least it goes 1 for 1.
Yeah, we'll see what retake can have happen here because the damage is starting to be delivered on return. Locking him out though.
Malta doesn't want to get dinked through the wall, so he's A-okay for now. PZ with the MP7. Shooting forward. Tucks back into the cubby on the fake vent. Hazard.
Oh, can't quite wrangle the spray. That's quite unfortunate. Mitch Liki with 3 HP.
There was no kit.
Yeah. Got to get out.
That's all that can really be done. Good damage at the very least, you know, trying to scrap away at something. Liki should be able to take this one into a next round. Just the Galil, though, and a little bit of Kevlar to work with. So all he can really hope for is some damage to benefit out the team. 2 Galils up for VERTEX. Money not the best, so the reinvestment obviously is going to, you know, tear them quite dry.
Yeah, we'll see what damage LFO are going to be able to do come this round. You would just hope it's the eco so they can get all the weaponry in the next round. Get that AWP out on Sterling as well. We can see Savage drop that one over if we're a little bit awkward with the money situation. Of course, no real investment in this one. Apoc Dud with Kevlar. Liki's just going to be picking up that smoke, which he didn't have in the previous rounds to carry over. Definitely just want to see 5 alive from VERTEX on a close here, though. All that utility just needs to be reinvested when you go for your big challenge against LFO's first purchase. This time there's going to be the wall of smokes. It's the more deeper ones as well, not the shallow at the red box cross. Love to always see different variations of those wall of smokes as well. Sometimes, you know, you want to sneak yourselves into the annex for a bit of a cheeky A-split.
Again, just another really, really slow round, even into these pistols. You know, LFO really kind of hoping that VERTEX do make a level of mistake. Because I'm just realizing, you know, the more and more rounds that they find on this T side here, VERTEX. But Liki, how has he not been punished yet? Massive bit of play from that positioning. Not exactly expecting him at all. Just in the little nook of that warehouse position. He actually manages to get out back into the back of it as well. At least Malta does find one of the Hatz, but that's an unarmored member. Liki has been doing it all so far, so they can just try their best to avoid him and get down towards B for free.
Well, still a player advantage for LFO. Liki with the Galil. If he can find another kill, it could set up his team for success. 2 guns down. Actually, one of those was the AK for VERTEX as well. So they really need to be holding on to all the rest of their weaponry. 20 seconds to try and establish a plant, and with no smokes, it's going to have to be at the safe position.
Just letting that time tick. They are going to play the exits here at the very least. You know, Liki still has a keen eye on some additional frags, but VERTEX have played it nice and slow and patiently. They do move in now. Are they going to be able to check out these corners? Up high, Sterling. Pick up another. It's getting scary. PZ has to clutch this out. Komodo, they're going to get moving. He has to do it all. He has to try and do his best, but do they have the time? Or it's going to be bloody tight. I think they might have just got it. Let's see.
Oh, you hear the sound of the near explosion. It had to be less than half a second
big
before that one would
boy
happen.
Liki.
Huge round from him. The Galil, the importance of the single saved weapon. Now they are seeing the result. And I mean, I don't know how many times I'm cursing this. I cursed it twice for VERTEX's eco round victories last time. And I'm saying this time they've got the guns. They hold on to them. Good T-side to start. Challenge LFO. Well, you're going into their first gun round with not much of your own. Get to see what Sterling Zorp is made of now on this map of Nuke. And it's actually interesting as well because it's the first time with this roster that we get to see how Nuke is actually going to work with them, what the calling of APOC does look like, what the different positions are when you compare this version of LFO to the previous, when Hazard was in the roster, when we had APOC as well.
That was under the lead of Liki, of course. Liki was always a fantastic Nuke player as well. Definitely don't think that's changed.
Oh, slowly does it for VERTEX. A minute to go. Bit of utility. Again, these wall of smokes, a different look to it. Gonna clear those warehouse positions. Making sure that Liki doesn't lurk around there again. Time is certainly ticking though. VERTEX need to get down to this B site where it looks like they want to be ending up. Currently have Hatz there with the AUG. He's going to start to reposition himself. But he is the only member here itself. Sterling at the ramp with the AWP. Can quickly come down Megaton. Might have to happen soon as well, Mitch. 30 seconds to go.
They've found so much control. But LFO have been relatively chill as a result of it. So Attic getting that opener, but now the door's open. Is Hatz going to be able to get any more than one? The answer is no. It's traded. PZ finds it. PZ gets the damage. And with Addict up in heaven, he can just wait patiently. I think he actually might be able to find the frag on a Sterling. If he goes for a bit of a walkabout, he will. That's a huge punish from Addict. Yeah. Huge round from VERTEX.
I don't even think Sterling got a shot off on the AWP, so I'm not sure if VERTEX know that that weapon was purchased. You'd probably have an idea. T-side AWP on Nuke. Be interesting to see how PZ wants to wrangle that one. But now you've got this crunch coming to the ladder base. Savage able to at least find Braves, but damage is already being delivered. This is a well-played round by VERTEX. They need to hold these guns, though.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that Savage is actually going to be able to get out of this unless he does find some more frags. They catch him on the outlet. And none alive for LFO. 3 rounds for VERTEX. Not very good money here either. I mean, Savage has got some cash. He can drop over some pistols, get some Kevlar. But no one else can invest. Yeah, it's just a thing of, like, I don't think the economy's poor enough. Look, it is pretty bad, but how worthwhile would it have been for LFO to force into this? It looks like it's just going to be the hero AWP for Savage. I like that call. We saw it work for Rooster earlier on tonight.
Let's see if Savage can do it. I hear an echo and I see damage to his body. No kills in the feed. Well, Fortunately, didn't work out. Try again. Unless that was PZ that shot.
No, I think it was Savage. Warning shot sent off. And now the utility for the outside set comes on through. But they're not overly interested in heading that way.
It's the same L smokes as well. You know, one the deeper of garage, two to block off a path of annex. Means that if you're playing in the heaven position, you can see over them towards the deeper line.
And the vents, Komodo.
Successfully.
They've taken a bit of damage for it, so a little bit worse for wear, but the fact is they found the B site for the most part. Doors open, Hatz spotted, I think. Not quite, but oh, do they notice him below? Oh, how does Addict swing on that? Swinging the head up immediately, and I reckon that's just a save from LFO.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
How many saves?
Yeah, like we've seen
These
on
guys...
Inferno, like we saw on Vertigo. Now we're going to get it on Nuke.
Mate.
10 years of saves.
They might have to buy me a house at this rate.
Mate, the going rate, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. The amount of money these guys must have in the bank, stacking interest. The amount of saving that's been going on, but by both teams. You know, it's not just been LFO. Vertex were absolute menaces for it, namely on Inferno. But this is just wild. 5 T rounds for Vertex.
Yeah, they're playing it nicely. Bit of a couple of blunders from LFO as well. A save, I wouldn't really call that one a blunder. That's more the gotta let it slide type of rounds. It is what it is. Firm handshake where one side gets just a better bit of a deal. Try again. And this time PZ on a Sterling. No vent drop, but an opening kill. The opening of the squeaky door. Certainly Sterling is feeling the bad end of the stick on this one so far. Nuke not looking too crash hot for him. For LFO as a whole.
This would be the statement that kind of, you know, solidifies Vertex's position, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If they win this one strong, 2-0s over Rooster and LFO yesterday. And a strong 2-1 with a dominant win here on Nuke would just mean that they are the clear second place when it comes to IEM Sydney for the Oceanic teams.
Yeah. Well, all of these flames are keeping LFO at bay. Not yet the plant to be established because it was actually left outside of T lobby. They had to go back and get that. You're wondering if you're LFO, why hasn't the plant happened just yet? These smokes in this utility that Vertex could have used for a post plant, now just to reclaim control of the site. With one plant down, Mitch, we are getting deja vu. We are going around the twist for the save again. Have you ever felt like this?
Have you ever? I'll save the stream from that, to be honest. You don't deserve that level of punishment at this hour.
Yeah.
But it is just really, really slow, isn't it? Like, at what point does saving become ridiculous? You know, at what point do the rounds start to become more important at a focus? You know, what point does it matter where you've got to throw yourself in aggressively and really try and take that control? You know, where does a ramp rush come in? Where does an outside take come in? Where does a lobby crunch take in? You know, it's been a thing of where I think if we sort of run back for most of this series, we have seen so few CT aggressive takes between both of these teams.
Yeah.
I think one was Vertex running down mid on Inferno, which was, you know, tempered well, good utility to get them in there. Mm-hmm. And they were actually unsuccessful with the round.
Yeah.
But outside of that, and a couple of, B ramp drops on Vertigo.
Yep.
That was really it across this whole series.
Yeah, there was no massive takeover at A ramp from Vertigo for Vertex. We had twice that LFO decided to waltz on down, you know, Sterling tucking in at the bottom of scaffolding. But apart from that, there was no real proactive CT space gathering. It's just been kind of mundane, to be honest with you. So I want to see some difference. I don't really know if Nuke is going to be a map that you can really do that. Position people in outers, you know, go for a cheeky top of garage play, push up towards red. Probably not going to see any lobby crunches, though, in rounds that we've got rifles. Doesn't really make a lot of sense these days, so kind of clean Counter-Strike as far as the CTs are concerned. Just crossing your T's, dotting your I's. They can do that here as well.
Great frag again from Malta. Sterling punished. So they do get hungry outside to try and find something, but are punished for it.
Yeah, Sterling has been the first player dead a couple of these rounds. It just hasn't gone well. You know, you lose this first kill. Are you wondering to save again? Here's that lobby crunch that I was talking about. It's a little bit unfortunate that you didn't have Hatz pushing up through the trophy room yet either. They could have definitely used another body to go for that. He's actually going to tuck himself in the corner. He needs a multi-frag if VERTEX continue down this path, and he's just going to get removed, Mitch.
Yeah.
It's just looking absolutely abysmal from LFO on this CT side.
Basically what's happened, right? You know, it's just falling completely flat. Good response from APOC done at least there to get a frag, but, you know, it's another round where it's just the exact same thing. Broken record, Conky spamming on about this save thing that's going on. But in this situation, it's a little bit more justified, right? You know, 2 versus 4, down towards the B site, lots of distance between them, no real, you know, positional advantage to take it back. So yeah, any sort of grasp is just falling away. And I think, as it is to be expected to a degree, and again, like, I will still never say a game is done until it is done, because I've seen comebacks of every caliber. But it just means that LFO aren't ready for this event yet as a group. Individually, yeah, sure. You know, we've seen these players do exactly that. You know, once upon a time, it was actually LFO that was the second best team, over and above both VERTEX and Rooster, probably about a year and a half ago. But
that's just a telling of the growing times, right? And the changing times.
That's right.
VERTEX adapting, figuring out what works for them in the roster. From that addition of Malta when Ruffle goes out, from bringing Addict back, you're now getting Hazard in. When you had that rotating 5th player that you didn't figure out who was quite working solidly. You know, that exchange where they had Savage for a little bit, then got Hazard after that, where
that's
it was
right.
Yep,
exactly it.
So just figuring out what works for VERTEX, and now it's LFO's time to do that on, I don't want to say this project of bringing an APOC done on the leadership mark, but really it feels like Hatz, from the talks that we've heard him speak about, you know, he still has that drive, that want, that experience to bring, and this team needs time to grow. Back on track though, CT side, you need utility on this map, and it's starting to look a little bit of a pickle for LFO. Not a bad opener though, finally for them.
There you go. Quickly traded though by Addict. But at least some sort of activity here on towards the A site where there's an opening pick for LFO. Damage dealt, but Malta gets APOC dud. And they are sort of frozen once more again. You know, there is no reposition. They've still parked still. Hatz has just been kind of on an island these last couple of rounds. Maybe in his own head. And look at the timing. He's walked away from ramp at the worst possible time. VERTEX is going to get all of this control for free. They're even going to be able to walk around towards elbow, lock this control down. Liki's gone hunting. Surely they've got to be aware of some sort of possibility that they might drop towards B side here.
Yeah, just group up as VERTEX. There's the wraparound now. Hatz was none the wiser. Sterling and Liki, I mean, do you just have to save? You're at the right location to try and stop it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Why has everyone gone to heaven? This is an interesting one. I mean, they've got site control, but it's certainly winnable now for LFO.
Yeah, it might be on, but the smoke is just going to keep Liki at bay. He has to wrap around, set up flashes for Sterling, maybe.
Yeah, they're up really close, though, here. But again, there's that level of hesitancy, you know? Not wanting to really do much more here. Malta still up in heaven. Still some high positioning from Addict as well. Molly does go in towards that heaven position. Did it land? No, it didn't. Oh, yes, it did. It's all good. But again, just no movement. Now they get out. Brace is found in 1. Liki gets 2, but there's just no time. Again, Malta should be able to close. And he's quick with the flick. 1 HP.
1.
But hey, 1 is all he needs. And Malta walks over to rub it in as well. money.
That's the half.
Rounds, half. It's just looking too hard for LFO.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to consider as well, you know, it's been a long day for a couple of the boys. I know it's been pretty long for us, but you got to remember a couple of these guys are in New Zealand land, right? It's currently 2:30 a.m. over there.
That's right, it is. Bit of a late one for those guys. But then again, you know, as much as we can ever argue the late hours, it is gamer hours for those guys.
That's true, yeah.
Probably woke up at 2 p.m. to be fair,
Oh,
but Brace,
Sterling again is down
he's
to the
so
count first.
quick, isn't he?
Yeah. Now what do you look to do? Sterling is just having to sit pretty time and time again. He's had more time in the server dead than he has alive. Speaks a multitude. Epic with a nice read though. It's gonna equalize.
There we go. Good work from APOC Dud, but the damage has been dealt as a response. Savage does get the trade out as well, so there we go. Advantage, LFO. They found it. They've secured it. 1 round the difference. In players, rather.
Yeah.
7 rounds the difference.
Need to be able to bring this one back. Don't think Malta's location was actually spotted there, so he has a small window of timing to be able to find both of these A-side members for LFO. No one's actually looking towards the heaven location at the moment. They're so fixated on Hazard that Malta can snipe them out on the bottom of the site, but now it's all going to be down to Hatz, who's standing tall for 3 kills. That is vintage. That is what we required from LFO.
Oh, man. So happy for Hatz there in that round. He was looking tired. He was looking limp. And he goes big for 3.
Well, it's finally another round for LFO. And VERTEX is going to call a tactical timeout on the back of it just to slow any momentum that LFO might think that they can try and gather. Have a discussion for VERTEX just on how that 1 round was lost, because you do have that affordance of time. You've got the padding and security of 6 rounds, still the difference. Try and close this at a 13-2 half, essentially. That's what VERTEX are chasing at this current point in time. They have figured out what has been working on this T side time and time again. A couple of those rounds were 1 kill and LFO saved, so you'll take that with a grain of salt, but that, I think, speaks more towards what LFO had to do and decided to do instead of what VERTEX found in those rounds.
Is it going to mean much, that additional round?
Yeah,
Certainly does start to close the gap a bit, but yeah, you know, 2 rounds on the CT side, rather.
Oh, it's atrocious at the moment. You know, if this gets double digits on the T side for VERTEX, LFO, you'd be spewing. You dropped the second map that should have been yours, and then you're starting off the third in this massive shaky form. You would be absolutely reeling.
It just started to slow down so much, didn't it, from a point, but they are going to get another frag, which is important. Just any level of momentum here for LFO can be enough. Again, it's not over until the final round is secured of 16. Molotov goes past the mark, but Malta does clear Hatz. Oh, man, that is a rough position to be found. I was sure that Hatz had at least 1 there.
Plant down. You got a HE and 2 flashes to try and throw a spanner in the works as VERTEX, but a lot more utility for LFO to try and mount this retake.
Definitely so. PZ doesn't spot the head out. Oh, it's close. Has to flick up high. And now as the nade does go in, it's a 4-on-4, barreling straight through down the ramp. The double doors are there. Addict gets 1, quickly traded by Sterling for his second, but PZ will find PZ. AWP shot, gunshot, shotgun at the close range. And APOC Dud just has to cruise on out. So 9 now secured here for VERTEX.
Yeah, this is some really well-measured CS that VERTEX are coming out with as well. In for the trades, in for the quick situations. This is a round where they lost the first pick, mind you. Sterling got Hazza, and VERTEX just got to the B site, got the plant, and held it down. There was a moment of complacency there as well, I felt, from LFO. 2 players started to run back towards the main stairs of Secret, where 1 player in the vent poked on out and they saw where PZ was with that AWP, that was almost that level of timing that LFO felt like, to me, they wanted to pull out, but they couldn't. They can't afford to pull out in these situations and give these rounds over to VERTEX.
Well, it's quick again, and they're straight down the fence. I don't even know if they would have heard that at all. Surely they must have heard some level of a position. Apoc Dud does manage to get that frag onto Addict, so they have been finding these opening picks, LFO. That's the bomb down. Secured once more. Hazard picks up Apoc Dud. That will actually save PZ. It was a little while away. Now down towards this site. They are going to try lock it in for as long as possible. Hatz up at Megaton. Does manage to secure one. Brace already dropped Liki. Back in this 3-on-3 again. Hazard just trying to hold from the double doors and still pushing on for as long as possible. But in the end, they are on towards the side. Malta trying to pick up as much as he can. Doors not going to be opened. Denial of service there, as that is 10 rounds. Double digits VERTEX. Only 6 more to secure this spot that they have been fighting for, that anything less would have just crushed them.
Yeah, this is disgusting CS to come through from VERTEX, and I mean that in a good way. This is just really well placed CS. They are so fixated on the almost 100% of these rounds that, you know, it's just, you can't really fault them. They're not really putting a foot wrong. These kills that they're getting, these situations that they're calling, I think Brace is doing an absolutely phenomenal job right now, letting the team flourish a little bit for themselves as well, right? It doesn't feel like he's completely controlling them on a leash and reeling them in whenever they get a meter in front of him. He's letting them explore a little bit, letting them hunt, and they are certainly chomping. This is the last little legs of this half as well. Again, I was joking-ish when I said the 13-2 scoreline, but there's a certain possibility that it can be probable.
Yeah, it's not often you see it,
yeah.
But
especially on the
it does
T-side,
appear
man.
to be coming out. And look, you know, again, as I was sort of alluding to, right, you know, VERTEX winning this actually is, yeah, sure, sad for LFO, sad for any LFO supporter, but ultimately a really, really good feeling and motivation at that for VERTEX, you know, kind of giving them that extra feeling that how hard they've been working over the last sort of 12 to 24 months, even longer now, is starting to pay off, you know, going through a really, really tough time of online CS. And now that these kind of events and opportunities are back, if VERTEX continue to fight and take these, especially after just missing out on ESL Pro League, I think they'll be absolutely chuffed. And as the entries just come through cleanly, no real stress on this round at all for an 11th. Apoc Dud drops one on Malta, sure, but that is a huge result from VERTEX here so far.
And I mean, the way that you've done it as well. You know, you kind of destroyed LFO and Rooster in the first opening games. This one a little bit closer. But you knew that LFO were coming into this series with a little bit more regardless, right? Grand final holds so much more weight than those other final games do in this in this group of 4 teams. But I gotta say, you know, a 16-12, 16-13 here, close to maps to start off with. I was thinking, you know, we haven't seen Nuke from LFO. Remember, I was talking about the map pool system where VERTEX have been together for quite a while now, and they've had so much time together to navigate, practice, scrims against different teams on all of the maps. For LFO, how much time have they actually had for a map like Nuke?
You just hear the whistle of the wind there. Just a desolate scene for LFO. The hay bales just sitting there calmly. I don't know. It's a quiet time.
Alrighty, well, at least LFO have stopped any immediate aggression from VERTEX. A lot of utility used, though, for it. And ramp control given on over. Yeah, that's rough for Sterling.
Great molly. Forcing him out. Getting that space once more. Only Hatz here. And unfortunately, Hatz is no longer here. have his head ripped off very, very quickly. Apoc dart inside the vents, but he has to be cautious because there are so many hungry members around. Liki does choose to join him, though, and now Addict's going to be punished as well. Looks like Apoc Dud wants another, but Peasy will make quick work of him. Now as Decon does get open, Malta finds one in the process, but Savage is still up. So is Liki at the Decon doors. Where does Savage come from? Through the vents. As he does have to wrap around, but it's all left on to Savage again. Just this level of disconnect. Savage just has to hop into the vent. The only member positive on this team.
You need something in the next round as well. It's the last round. You're only riding on the back of the loss bonus right now. You need an AUG and the Kevlar behind it. That's more than you would have to play and buy in the next round. You just want to invest on utility and brace. Well, he's looking the wrong way, but I mean, for Savage, you got a feel for LFO at the moment. They are just getting absolutely pounded into the ground. VERTEX have found 12 T-sided rounds on Nuke in this grand final qualification map.
It's such a odd feeling as a caster, right? Because, you know, you feel so good for VERTEX, but then you are gutted for LFO, and it doesn't feel like these two teams are as evenly matched. And you look across to the right of your screen up the top there, you know, 16-12, Inferno was domination from LFO. Sure, it was a bit slow on some of those save rounds, but then the exact same thing could be said. Vertigo got really hot, was a close game, and then it was ultimately VERTEX that got the pace behind them. Now this just is absolute decimation out of nowhere. None of these games in the entirety of this competition that we've had so far between Rooster, John Industries, LFO, VERTEX, none of them have been this one-sided. And it's the final map of the damn grand final, qualifying a team to IEM Sydney.
Yep. And it's not even just a team thing that's happening right now. LFO are missing out on the shots. VERTEX are just where they need to be when they need to be.
When I'm done
and a trade again. I've been praising VERTEX trades. PC even getting dinged, but he just allocates a shot straight onto Sterling.
And they don't even go in for it as well. They pull out a secret immediately. Even though Liki was there, he's not going to see anything.
Yeah. Does feel like Hatz is up on the chopping block next. Sneaking down ladder base by the timing, however, he will spot everybody. There's 3 members.
Oh, the dink.
Does he know who's coming?
I don't think so.
No.
Malta's got him. And there's no one else on the site either. It's Savage on the other side of the door. Liki has to try and join the party. Does manage to get out just onto the opposing side. They are going to boost him up to go looking. Great one tap. Awesome shot there. But he has to find more. PZ going to be able to turn away from that flash nice and quickly. Other 2 members on the side. Attic is already going hunting for this. They have recovered a weapon. Liki's been taken low, but now it's potentially winnable here. Hazard does have the full HP, and he's on the bottom of the site. Both are up close, but I think PZ can just go one and done. Hazard does it, but that's going to be the round and the half secured. Oh, can they do it? Or is it going to be VERTEX? We'll find out shortly. Straight back into the action. Is it going to occur? VERTEX winning in absolutely dominant fashion and form, or is it going to be LFO doing something somewhat unthinkable? I am an optimist, Komodo. You know me. I'm always there for the underdog story. I'm always there for the comeback, but this time around, I just don't see it happening.
Nah, you're an optimist. I need an optometrist. Is starting to get to me.
Oh,
right
dude, I'm slowly joining you over time as I get older. More time looking at the both bad and good screens. But a pistol round would mean everything for VERTEX here. It is going to be the plan for LFO.
Yep. Once upon a time I would have said, yeah, we're seeing a save, but this is a pistol round.
And there's at least one for Addict. I like this position from Hatz, though, on the flank. Liki's actually picked up 2. And PZ has to just try and absolutely go for this. Liki, 3 big kills. And he even goes for the right click. Okay. We do a little bit of trolling.
Yeah, tomfoolery at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Liki getting some kills. I do like to see that. Actually, Liki now meeting even, no longer negative. Imagine if this is the case of just T-side. And we get 13-13 or 13-14 or something like that. There is a force up from VERTEX. So the chance to win this cleanly early on starts to potentially dwindle a little bit. But there is always going to be an opportunity for them to get this round of lesser pistols and the scout from PZ. Hatz is already going to dispatch of PZ though. So that sub sniper's done. Now we take a little bit of silence in the server yet again. Has a for an exploration. This is something we saw LFO do an attempt once. A little lobby peek on their CT side.
Just another really slow approach. Nothing quick at all. Can't tell if it's VERTEX showing a level of hesitancy. I actually would have loved something quick from them with these pistols, but you know, they don't want to give up too much. They give a bit of a boost back to LFO, and maybe they start this slow creep back. But you can see here, LFO have found the site of 8. At least gets one back.
What do you look to do if you're Malta and Addict, though? Your team's purchased up. Do you just look to keep your weaponry into the next round? Right on the back of some loss bonus, let it build up. See what you can do again with these pistols next, or do you try to remove some weapons here from LFO to make the next round a potential easier one? Malta's just going to be waiting to see who can potentially walk into his crosshairs out from the lobby. Would be a safe exit passage for LFO. There he is.
Trying to keep them at bay really here. Does at least afford some more damage, but they won't be going down to this bomb. They're all going to cuddle into the corner, and Malta is actually the one to go down here. So 4 rounds for LFO. At least they're not going to go down absolutely murked.
Yeah. I'll just see what they can do in a round such as this one as well, right? There's no really cause for concern until LFO maybe get to double digits. If VERTEX don't have a round yet on the scoreboard, then I might start to worry just a little bit. You don't want to get into that mentality of it's just 3 rounds. Because those 3 rounds, if you're always trying to chase, might not come. And that'll afford LFO a way in.
Okay, Addict, I see you. Great opener here from Addict, but obviously lots more work to do. I do like this patience from Brace, but surely they'll clear it. Does get a dink onto Sterling. That makes it a little bit more spooky, but as they do march their way down towards site nice and quickly. I mean, look, hey, Malta in a P250, never count him out, but this one might be a little bit more challenging. The Scout is what I'm kind of more training my eyes on towards here from PZ.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be able to navigate anything.
Oh, there it is.
There's a headshot on a Sterling.
That was the low member, though. So still a player advantage for VERTEX, but it is going to be equalized. Still not much HP left. Realistically, it's just about doing economic damage at this point. Less likely to win out the round. The Molotov is good, though. That's Malta finding another Hatz. Not on the best of lines. If they get down and go for this quick shot, but in the end, it will be some further good damage. Okay, Savage, Hatz, they close the round. 5 for LFO. And now this will be the first big purchase here.
Yep. PZ on the AWP as well. I want to see a kit be purchased because LFO have showcased to us already that they know how to get into these bomb sites to get these plants on this T side. So at least Brace is going to be able to pick up a kit. Addict, I want to see one from you as well. Very good. So a big old buy from both of the teams at the moment. This can be the one to propel Vertex on the CT side, or it very well be could be the case for LFO to figure out what these gun rounds start to look like from Vertex and start to really make this comeback work on the T side for themselves. I feel like you're going to need LFO finding an opening kill. Let's group up around the lobby. Actually, they're already in A.
Hazza will at least make a level of denial, though. PZ gets another, and Addict still up high, but certainly not dry. Sterling stuck inside the hut. And the advantage going to back of Vertex, so this could very well be that 14th round that they need. And Brace. Oh, geez, Hatz is quick, but Addict was there to trade out his boy. Now it's all left on to Sterling, and he's going to walk straight into the crosshair of PZ, I'm sure. Just has to wait. Has plenty of time to work with, but that bomb obviously dropped down. PZ now repositioning accordingly. He actually wants to try find his way in a hut.
If Vertex play this one right, there's only a couple of positions that they actually have to look at, but now it's risky business.
Where does he go here, Sterling? He's just waiting for a decision to be made. Oh, it's timing.
I think Sterling wins this now.
There, PZ, yeah, but does he turn the right way at the right time? He does! Sterling with the 1v3, and the game lives on.
They managed to figure out how to win against Vertex's first gun rounds. Vertex letting it slip a little bit there, but so much did Sterling have to work for. Gets one step closer to becoming a reality, to getting this third and final map over the line. Make it challenging for Vertex to seal the deal. Pistols up yet again. Different look to it as well. These are the sort of rounds where we've seen LFO overcomplicate them previously, Mitch. These are the sort of rounds where they make a mistake or two and Vertex capitalize.
Most definitely. Every single point in time here is basically just trying to live on LFO. Great shot there from Malta. He is very handy with a 5-7, and now it gets a little bit more awkward. Member up in heaven. Great shot, but now Addict moving on in. Does get traded quickly by Liki, but PZ does get in towards this Annex position now. I think they're going to be somewhat ready for him as they do start to walk on through. Still yet to look to get this bomb planted. I don't think they're actually looking towards this position of Annex, but now they'll look to get the safe plant. And I think PZ can start to creep his way in now. I love the respect that they're giving to PZ here. Sterling's back on the line. They gather the info, and the AUX shot should connect in just a second, but it's the rifle of Savage. Hey, man, 6 rounds the difference, Vertex. Gotta calm down.
Yeah, not just yet. As I said earlier, I don't think this is really too much of a cause for concern yet for Vertex. If they lose this new gun round, and it's a bit more convincing from LFO, it's not a 1 versus 3 that Sterling has to pull out a little bit of magic. If it's an actual team shutdown, then I think then maybe you do start to have a little bit of glimmer of that. Need to see Brace potentially pick up a little bit on the kill department. The rest of the team still certainly trying to do what they can in the vicinity of this A site right now, though. LFO are trying to bully their way through all this util, and it's all going to get shut down immediately. Look at that, my god.
Yeah, okay, clearly my call for concern wasn't justified after that round. So many dousings of the Molotovs with those smokes to come through, and it's a clean-up crew completely. Only 3 points of damage tapped onto Addict, and poor Apoc Dud just has to basically live it. It's actually Brace holding down the ramp position where Apoc Dud is making his way towards. Does have the bomb in hand, but the IGL, the captain here, it's going to be a tough one for him to walk through. He does slowly start to clear. Brace should have the line, and he will find him. Again, 3 points of damage is all that was done in the entirety of that round there. Vertex finally break the curse.
It would be very, very funny, though, if this is how it ends. Vertex on another one of these eco-ish rounds. We'll have a look at what Brace and Addict can contribute to this one, however, because once again, LFO taking a little bit of time to progress throughout the sides of the map. Hatz over towards red box on outers. The rest of the team for LFO over towards... Yep.
Great opening shot because I don't think they're actually going to be ready for a second member. Liki didn't spot him up on the boost there. And that's a rifle as well. So Brace is going to have all of this extra information as they just park it in ramp. They do send at least one back to have a bit more of a look to see if there's any lobby control thrown out, but nothing has occurred.
And this is the first time we've seen VERTEX go for this boost as well, right? So they still have tricks in that strat book. Try and catch LFO off guard, but 30 seconds to go, and there's still members around the safe side, Mitch. This is going to get chaotic.
This is going to be crazy. I think VERTEX actually arguably almost hold the advantage here despite having two Kevlar-less players because there's Addict. That's a big pick, a big frag. Now they should have a level of information as he wraps around. He's moving quickly. The footsteps, and I don't think they're going to be ready for it. He does, but still timing. It's going to mean everything here. PZ is unmoved here.
Oh.
Does get the... Oh, no! Brace. It's going to be all onto Brace. He heads up towards heaven to try to get the nade down. It's an underarm, but it's not going to do much. Okay. Jeez, man, these rounds are so tight. They should never be.
Yeah.
It's 10 now for LFO, and Brace just has to save again.
It's okay, though, if he does save this one, right? Because if you add up all of the monies for what he does have to offer, you'll be able to get a full purchase coming into the next round. The whole team will be able to. You'll get the AWP out yet again for them. And if he finds a bit of damage here on the tail end, it's probably not going to look to do too much towards the money situation of LFO either. So this is just one of those moments where it is what it is. You kind of had the idea that tackling this round was going to be a bit of a challenge anyway because you only had 2 of those guns. So finally, LFO will gather double digits. And it becomes 5 to send us into OT. 5 chances for VERTEX to book that spot.
Just imagine. It's almost like, I know it won't happen, of course, this what I'm about to say, but it is almost like a disband feeling, isn't it? If you let this level of lead slip. Again, of course that won't happen, but you would just feel crushed if you were to let this one slip.
I get what you mean.
I mean, it's these matches that build the resilience that allow you to feel what it means to lose and build that hunger for victory. So the full buy comes in. Again, map, series, qualifier, point. Malta takes the early damage.
Oh, Attic playing at the back of Warehouse. Is this one going to be sniffed out by Hatz? He's been the one to kind of lurk around outers time and time again. This time, no different. As LFO start to set up a wall of smokes towards outers, potentially. Yeah, that they do. See what Hatz is going to be able to do. It's a different take of these wall of smokes as well, not the ones that VERTEX were throwing out.
Yeah, Brace has got the smoke popped, ready to go. So we'll be able to send that down if necessary, but that's Peasy with a massive opener. And there's that smoke thrown on in. The flash is actually going to be perfect to favor VERTEX. It shouldn't have. But now that's that advantage that they need to desperately hold Komodo. They are getting back into position now. 3 versus 5. 3 more frags needed to close this, to win this, to take it forward. 40 seconds.
There is no way you're going to have to get in here easily. He put that onto Brace, though. Required duel. Late activation potentially needed here from one of the members on LFO.
Oh,
but Malta is
Malta.
going to say no. 20 seconds, Mitch.
Yeah, they're already down here. They are so quick. I thought there might have been a level of timing, but now they need to find the plant. Sterling does get one. Looking to spot, looking to deny, but it's Hazza. There it is. They close. They go strong, and it is going to be VERTEX to win this out. It certainly got a little bit dicey there. A 13-2 victory to only win it out 16-10 certainly is a bit of a testament to what the LFO side did bring through, but Komodo...